Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Boozy Tuesday, the Boozy Botanical Podcast. I'm like, wait, what is the name of this?
What do we do here?
My name is Holly.
And I'm Angelique.
And I just got choked up.
Holly, 30 seconds in, you're already choking on your alcohol. She's like, I'm a professional.
I'm just like, help.
Someone please.
Yeah. But anyways, welcome back, everybody. So glad you have joined us. Angelique, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a new one today, and I actually haven't tried it yet, so I'm excited. It's the Skinny Girl Margarita brand, if you know what I'm talking about. So
Yes.
on 4th of July, my friend Emilio brought it over, and we never opened it. And I've been out of town, if people didn't know. Plus, our fridge broke last week, and we had to get a new fridge. And it was while I was in Hawaii, and Josh had to throw out a lot of stuff. So all of our mixers, juices, all that stuff, like I didn't have anything today. And I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I looked in the handy dandy alcohol cabinet, and we had 2 unopened Skinny Girl margaritas, and I read the bottle and it was like, open and serve. And I was like, thank you.
Oh, hell yes.
So I'm going to try it really quick and see.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is right up your alley. Mm-hmm.
You don't like it?
No, it's fine. It's good. It's actually, it's not too heavy on tequila. It's tequila, triple sec, other stuff that I don't know about that was on the bottle, and then margarita mix. So it's pretty much like a ready to go margarita. I wish I had like salt or something to put on the rim, but
yeah,
it's really not that bad. It's for those of you that are iffy when it comes to margaritas, this one is, let's see, let me try again.
Like I'm wondering if it's super sweet or if it's more like nail polish tasting.
I can get a pop of nail polish, but not too bad. It's like it's like lemon. It tastes like alcoholic lemonade that's not overly sweet. I would say it's very middle. So if you don't like anything too sweet or too tart, this is pretty safe. I would say. So yeah, I'm gonna be coasting this episode. What are you drinking today? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So no, it seems that we have swapped like our what we like as far as alcohol beverages go, because I am drinking sangria, which is right up your alley.
Stop it!
Dude, I have a new fave though. This is like my ride or die from Trader Joe's. It comes like in a box. It's near their box wine. And it's their sangria mix. And it's so good. I literally keep it in the fridge. It's kind of like a, you know, how box wine is. You can just go in and push the button and it comes out. So it's so good. Sometimes I'll add fruit to it, but like, dude, I just kind of drink it. And I think it's like 8 or 9% alcohol. Like, it'll get you smashed real quick.
It'll mess you up. Yes.
But it's really cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So,
man, you just reminded me. I freaking had sangria. I didn't even think about that. No, I have some in the pantry in my box. probably our last boozy party. It's very old.
Yeah.
Some days I drink it and I'm like, is this okay? Yeah. There's no expiration, right?
Am I okay?
Well, cheers to this, Holly. It's been a long time since we've had a cheers.
I know.
And you're using your super cute funky glasses that look like your pots.
I am. Yes. I have this one and only sort of bubbly shaped glass, and it's like my favorite for cocktails. So I thought it'll work for sangria too.
Yes, it'll do the job.
Yeah.
Well, Holly, I feel like it's been a minute since we talked.
It has been like 2 minutes.
Like literally 2 minutes. And it's hard because I mean, we text almost every day, but it's like there's certain things that I'm like, I gotta save it for the pod. You know? And I'm like writing notes to remember what I need to tell you.
Aww. I feel so honored.
Oh yeah. I was like, I gotta tell Holly this and this and this. How are you though? How's your life been these past 2 weeks or few weeks? I know you've been busy.
Yeah, no, I've been good. Probably the most like thing in my forefront memory, because it's been so long, is we just came back from a scalloping trip. And what I mean by that is we went scallop collecting. So if you guys eat scallops, like the fish,
Oh.
I didn't know this, but they actually are like in shells, kind of like a exactly like a clam actually. And it's
Oh.
so cool because there's like this I guess kind of small-ish side of Florida on the Tampa side just north and the water's crystal clear and the the ocean floor is like grassy and basically what you do, you go out and you snorkel and then you dive down and you find the little scallops and it's like a little Easter egg hunt. And dude, I
Oh,
got really good, I must say.
really? So you, like,
So
totally did it. You jumped right in.
I did. And, it's interesting because when I first jumped in, like having the flippers and the snorkel and the goggles, plus the tide was was really hard. It was like a little claustrophobic. I was like, "Ooh, I don't know how I'm gonna do this," but I just kind of went with it. And then within like the first 30 minutes, I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got this."
You're like, "I'm a professional."
Yeah.
Wow, so was Tyson filming while you guys hunted for scallops?
He was. It was really cool because we just got this new, like, underwater housing for our big fancy camera, and so we were kind of playing with, like, the weight and how to, like, you know yeah, how to weight it down properly, and then yeah, so it was really, really cool, plus we had tons of GoPros and things like that. So, yeah, I think it's gonna make for a really cool video, so I had a lot of
That
fun.
is so awesome. You guys have been doing a
Yeah.
lot with that channel. Can you shout out the channel really quick?
Absolutely. So yes, this is like Tyson has been doing all the filming and editing, and then it's with our family, and it's called Forest to Sea Adventures, and it's all things like hiking. Right now, we're doing a lot of fishing just because it's like summer in Florida, so it's
In
hot as balls.
season.
So we want to be by the water as much as we can. But yeah, it's a fun time. Like it's really I think the genre itself is actually really big, and I had no idea because I don't fish and I don't do that sort of thing,
Right.
but
Right.
it's a whole other world, just like the plant community, so it's been
Yeah.
really, really cool, and yeah, it's been keeping us busy, so if I, have any more fun things to do, I'll definitely keep you guys posted. So yeah, check it out on YouTube and or on
Cute.
Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome. I remember I watched one of the videos and I was like, this has a lot of views. Like, there's definitely, like, you're totally right. There's definitely a community that's just
Yeah.
like out there doing fish things.
Yes, and, like, hiking and outdoorsiness and camping,
Yeah.
which I'm not a camper, but
You're
okay.
like, "Where's the glamping?
Yes. Give me a
Where's
yurt,
the
RV.
Wi-Fi?"
Yes.
Holly texted me being like, "I will not be able to contact you for 2 days." And I'm like, "What?"
I I feel like I had to let my mom know, "Don't worry, I'm safe, I just can't text you."
"I'm just busy working with scallops, mom. I got things to do.
There
I
you
can't
go.
chat all day."
Well, I didn't want you to worry about me because it's like, "Where the hell is she? She's MIA on socials, she's not texting me back, is she okay?"
No credit
And I
cards have
was
been used.
I'm gonna
Oh
file a missing
god.
person once 48 hours.
Yeah. Oh god. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Ah.
I'm so stoked for this episode because we will get into it in a minute, but oh my god, I can't wait to hear about all of your Hawaii adventures, Angelique.
Aloha, bitches.
Woo!
I yeah, my update for you guys is pretty much gonna be this whole episode. So but to give you a short one, just a little planty thing I did this week. I
Yeah.
potted up the plant that I brought back from Hawaii, which I will
Ah!
show and tell to you guys. It's a Stefania Erecta. I believe the name has recently changed, but I'm really new to this corner of the plant world. I don't know if you know much about them, but we'll get into it. Like I'm excited to talk about this plant. It's really cool.
It is really
But
cool. It's
yeah.
so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, when it's mature, it is gorgeous. Like I'm so excited to I'm so excited to talk about it. I think it's gonna be really good.
Yes, all those
But
caudex plants are so cool, like, I don't really have any. but
That's
they're
the word
gorgeous.
I was gonna bring up to you, caudex.
Yes.
Because people online have been calling it a bulb, and then one website was like, it's actually a caudex, guys." I guess it's like I don't know, I guess it's like bulb adjacent. I guess maybe they have a
It's
few
like that
different
annoying kid in class, "Actually, Mrs. So and so, it's a caudex
it's a
plant."
caudex. Mrs. Smith, I don't think you got that one right. And she's like,
Can you
"Shut up,
double
Jimmy."
check?
Jimmy's a little
Quiet.
bitch. But
Detention
yes,
for you.
I'm excited to show it to you guys. I'm excited to showcase the pot that I put it in. I think it's gonna be Holly approved for sure. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it's good things. I'm excited. So yeah, I
Oh, we're all
think
excited.
yes, I think before we get into all things Hawaii, we've got a plant mommy to shout out, don't we?
We sure do. Who is our plant mommy today?
Well, keeping things in the vein of all things Hawaii, I'd like to shout out my lovely friend Raylin. She's at Raylin RB on Instagram.
Woo!
And me and Raylin have very interesting roots in our relationship. Roots, ha, no pun
Ah!
intended. So, for those of you guys that don't know, when I was 19, so I'm 27 now, you do the math. When I was 19, I studied abroad in London and I went by myself. There was a lot of study abroad students from the US or from any, yeah, I guess they were mainly from the US. They went in like groups or they went with a friend. They buddied up. They like made this a thing, but I did it all by myself. So no one else from the U of A went. And I showed up, was like, cool. And they make you do like a new student study abroad sort of orientation. And there was a big group of students from the University of Hawaii. And I was like, "Oh, that's
Yay.
cool." And they, like, were like a clan. Like, there was, I think, like, 8 to 10 of them. There was a lot of them. And Raylin was one of these students from Hawaii, and she's born in I believe she's born and raised on the island of Oahu, which is where I visited. And we became friends during that study abroad trip over the course of 6 months. We weren't, like, crazy close in that we hung out all the time, but we did some trips together, group activities, that sort of thing. And I always remember her being really nice, followed each other on social media. That's it, that whole thing.
Yes.
And then fast forward
Nice.
7 years, we're still friends on Instagram. I have since made my planty Instagram that you guys know about, and I think it was December when I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast because we were new, but you know about this. I had chopped up my string of pearls because the top got burnt.
Yes, I
And
remember
when
that.
that ha Yes, so I put them in water so I could reroot the whole thing and not have a burnt top, and she messaged me being like, "Oh my god, my string of pearls is being so dramatic," and we started talking again. It was like, "Oh my god, now she's into plants," and she's based in Hawaii still,
Nice.
and we kept in touch over the last 6 months, and then when my parents invited me to go to Hawaii, they told me we were going to Honolulu, and I was like, "Wait a second,"
Wait a
because
minute.
Raylin is a fellow podcaster, and she has a podcast called the Honolulu Millennial.
Oh my god, no
And I was
way.
like, "Wait a second, I think that means she lives in Honolulu, I'm pretty sure." So, we got to
Right?
meet up, and she's gonna be a big part of my conversation with you today because she gave me a tour of Hawaii in terms of plants, and just to shout her out and how amazing she is, as I said, she's based on Oahu. She has so much knowledge of plants, especially the local plants in the area. And she's also really passionate about highlighting amazing food. She took me to
That's so
Zippy's, which is
cool.
like a local spot to eat in Hawaii. It was so good.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
it's
amazing.
amazing. Yes, you can follow her food shout outs with the hashtag Raylin Eats, and you can see that in her Instagram bio as well. And as I mentioned, her podcast is at Honolulu Millennial on Instagram. I believe she posts every Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. So just like us, catch one
Ah,
after the other.
there you
And
go.
that show is a conversation with millennials for millennials. And I think she specifically highlights those in Hawaii, but I'm sure she might branch out as well. So if a
Branch
collab ever
out.
happens, who knows? But she's really cool, really
Yes.
sweet, and I just wanted to shout her out because she has a beautiful collection. She has this gorgeous big monstera. She picked up a hibiscus while we went shopping. I think it was a
Oh,
hibiscus
I
with a big yellow
love
flower.
those plants.
And we got friendship plants. She also got a Stefania Erecta as well.
Oh,
So
love
that was really
that.
exciting. Yeah, and then she took me to, like, you'll hear about it, but it was
I can't.
wonderful. Raylan, I love you, and I'm so glad you're our plant mommy this week.
Oh, yeah, we love you, Raylan.
She's wonderful. I can't wait for you to meet her. She's really
I
cool.
know. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yay. Well, I'm so stoked to get into all things Hawaii plants. I definitely have some questions for you, but like just give it to us,
Oh,
Angelique.
no. Oh,
Just like exciting questions. So we
no.
are so ready to hear. We have our drinks. We're
Well,
ready.
ready to get turned. Well, for those of
Mhm.
you watching, I apologize if you catch me peeking at my phone. I wrote a lot of notes. And Holly normally writes the
All
notes, but I had to do it this time. It was a lot of feelings in my heart, but I did it. And I'm really proud of myself. I had to go on Google and I had to go on Google and Google um sh- paper. Like like you know how you write on yellow lined paper and then you send
Oh,
me a picture like through
oh, the
your app.
white pillow. Yes, yes.
Yes, I had to look up lined writing paper on Google, and then I downloaded a picture, and then I wrote on it so it would look like
That
your
is so
notes.
funny. Wait, I thought that, the Apple Notes had that, right? Or no?
Oh my god, if it does, I'm such a boomer and I didn't know. I did so many extra steps.
I
It's
mean,
not fair.
maybe. I think maybe you
I
could
just wanted to be
export it.
like you. I was like,
Oh.
Holly gives me a cute little, like, lined sheet of paper digitally, and I have to do the same.
Well, regardless, I loved your notes, so it doesn't matter.
Thanks, mom. Okay, so I wanted to start with for those of you that have not been to Hawaii, the rumors are true. There's a lot of plants there. If you couldn't
Yes.
tell from any photo advertising to go to Hawaii, there are a lot of plants. It has such a unique ecosystem. Is that the word? Like the climate
Yeah,
is so specific in Hawaii. I believe it's the same temperature year round, pretty much. It's close to
yeah,
the equator. Oh my god, it's like it's tropical for sure, but, like, I wasn't, like, blowing up sweating, like, it wasn't crazy hot, crazy cold, everything was so level and so
yeah,
bright, like, everything seems to get direct light in Hawaii unless, like, there's a shadow, I don't know, like,
yeah, like
unless
shade or something.
yeah, like, if your plants are so overgrown, like, if you have a big tree and you put a plant under it, now it's getting shade, but in general, everything gets direct light, and
Wow.
it shows, Holly, let me tell you. Oh my god, I took public transportation the whole time I was there. I didn't take Uber or anything because on average, Uber was $60 to get anywhere.
Are you serious?
Any between 45 and $60 a trip anywhere in Hawaii because it's
Jesus.
so high demand.
Wow,
Yeah, I was
okay,
like,
good to know.
my girl, my parents are cheap and, like, that bothered my soul. I was a little cheap too. I was open to taking an Uber maybe, like, from the airport with our suitcases and stuff, which we didn't do, but I was open
Yeah,
to it. And then
yeah.
I had to go on the public bus with all of our bags, which
Oh
is
my god.
fine, but, like, honestly, it's like $2.75 versus $60. Like, what are you gonna do?
Wow. Well, at least
Yeah,
you were on a big enough island that had that, because when we went to Maui, I don't know if they have that readily available, at least on the side of the island where we stayed, which was, I'm
right.
assuming, touristy, so, I mean, that's good.
Well, I think you're right because after that, I hopped over to Kona, which is the big Hawaii island. Sorry, guys, there's an emergency outside if you hear the sirens. But I think they're
Okay.
gone now. But I'm sure who knows if everyone's okay. I'm fine, so. But, sorry.
A quick prayer for the people.
Yeah, let's raise one for those in need, guys. Thank
Yeah.
you, Holly. I'm sure they're okay. There's a fire station close to our house.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. They probably just wanna get to happy hour real
That's
quick.
what I'm saying. Barney's Beanery is down the street too, so let's be real.
Mhm, mhm.
But it's interesting you say that about Maui because I hopped over to the Big Island after, which is where Kona is located, and there was no metro
Oh,
system that I
fun.
could see either. So I'm wondering if
Yep.
just like Honolulu has it because it's probably like the busiest.
Biggest
The
city.
capital,
Yep.
right? So they had a metro system, but I didn't see a metro system elsewhere. So we did have a rental car at the second island, but all my planty escapades are on the first island on Oahu. And by the way, guys, if you guys go and you want to do the metro system the way I did, I highly recommend download the app City Mapper. Speaking of London, that was my Bible while I was in London. It's a great app. It's in every major city. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
these
hell yeah, I
freaking
didn't know
cops,
that.
man. Yeah, it's a really cute app. So you put in like start and end. So like let's say you start at your current location and you end at like, oh my god, I really hope someone's okay. These are a lot of
I
sirens.
know.
Oh
Dude,
my
when we
god.
lived in downtown, it was like sirens 24/7, but it just sort of became like a
Normal,
hum.
right?
It was just like normal, yeah.
Imagine recording our podcast when you lived there.
Dude, yeah.
A mess. I
But we have,
listened.
like, concrete walls, so maybe
Oh,
I
that's
don't know,
true.
the
Wouldn't be as
sound would
bad.
I don't know.
Block. I know
Yes,
my house directly faces the main street, so I'm pretty close to where they'd be driving, but what are you gonna do?
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
so quick shout out to the app City Mapper. I love it. I used it 7 years ago. It's been around probably close to 10 now, I imagine, at least 8. And it's really user friendly. So if any of you go to Barcelona, Paris, New York, any of these big places, City Mapper is eligible. Same with Honolulu. You put your start and your end. Let's say I want to go to, I don't know, I want to go to my hotel, which was the Ilokai in Oahu. So I would put the Ilokai's address or their name and it would load. It would show me how much Uber would cost on average, Lyft,
wow.
how long it would take me to, it tells you how long it would take you and the price, how long it would take me on a bike if I were to walk. And then it
Okay.
also lays out all if you take, so they only had a bus system, but if you were in New York, you also have the subway. It would show you all your options with public transport, like the subway or the bus, and it would tell you how often it stops at the stop you need to. Like it'll say like one's coming in 3 minutes, one is coming in 10, in 17, etc. So it would give you everything. And
That's
just a
awesome.
real, yeah, it's a great app. So highly recommend. So that's what my parents and I used. And it was really cool because I got to see the landscaping that everyone used while I was on the bus, and I got to see all parts of town, not just the touristy parts. I got to see the poor ends of Honolulu, the fancy ends, all of it. And what was amazing was how much elephant ears and monstera are used as landscaping.
And I think that's so freaking cool, dude. Like,
Mature
what?
ones too.
Like, with giant fenestrations and just like,
Oh
oh,
my god, yes! I took selfies with a couple of Monstera and, like, I actually forgot to post it. I'll post it for in a day or 2,
yeah,
but
please
this is
do.
me trying to show how big it is, and this is me under the leaf.
That is
Can you see
so
that?
gorgeous.
For
Dude,
those
you
of you
know, it's
listening,
interesting. Oh,
tell me.
sorry. I
No,
cut
that's
you
okay,
off.
go ahead.
Well I was just gonna say it's interesting that, people also use monstera as landscape because here in Florida, I see lots of alocasia all the time, but
Like the
Monstera
elephant ear, right?
deliciosa uh-huh, but Monstera deliciosa is a lot more uncommon, so that
Why do
is
you think
so
that is? The climate's similar.
you know, I was gonna ask you about climate because here, although it's like it doesn't get too cold, I think it's a little bit more extreme weather. Actually, I know it's a lot more
Oh,
extreme weather in
hurricanes.
Florida. Well, that and it's just very hot. It dips into like, I wanna say 50s or maybe 40s in the winter,
Okay,
unless you go to
yeah,
Miami. I haven't been there, but anywho.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was so cool.
Wow, yeah, maybe because I feel like definitely with very direct light, I think monsteras do tend to burn. Like I think I remember when
Yeah.
you went to Huntington Library and you showed me a picture of the monstera that was climbing the tree trunk and
Oh,
it was beautiful, but it had a lot of
gorgeous.
burnt spots.
It
So
did,
I think
yeah, so
yeah, I think that's possible. I don't know. I saw a couple burnt monstera, but overall they were in good shape. But a lot of the landscape monstera that I saw on Oahu were in front of hotels, so they might just do a good job of trimming back
that's cool.
anything that's not, up to par. But literally, like, and this was both, especially on Kona, so both islands, tons of monstera in people's yard. I saw a wall of monstera, and then at the top of the wall was someone's house. Like there
Whoa,
was like a little mini cliff. It was crazy.
that's so
I,
gorgeous.
I was like, what is happening? Um,
Wow, that is so cool that, like, there must be some sort of, like, layer of sun that just doesn't burn the plants as much as it does here in Florida. I don't know, maybe there's more, like, cloud coverage or something, but that is so freaking cool.
yeah, you could be right. I don't know what it is. Maybe at certain times of day they all get shade. I don't know, but I was just so impressed with how lush everything was. Like,
Yeah.
it just that's how I feel. It just blew
Right?
my mind. Like,
Well,
I
going
just
into one of my questions, what was the most, like, unexpected thing that you saw growing in the ground there? Like, was it, like, some sort of houseplant that you're like,
ooh,
"What the hell? How is it
oh my
growing outside?"
gosh, that's crazy. I mean, I know Monstera are so common in the wild, but I feel like I mean, that's what I saw the most, honestly. Like,
Nice.
I'm trying to think if I saw any Hoya in the wild.
Oh, that would be
Ye
so cool.
My god. I didn't see Hoya straight up in the wild, but one of the nurseries I went to that I'll tell you about, the woman had Hoya growing intentionally on outdoor poles and stuff, and they were thriving. So,
Oh,
I don't think
dude, that's
Hoya
so
as much as
cool.
right? Like, I don't think Hoya as much as landscaping, quote, unquote, because 'cause they're smaller, but they
Yeah,
definitely do really well outdoors in Hawaii. Like, I saw
nice.
beautiful sun-stressed ones that weren't burnt. It
Wow,
was
that's so
gorgeous.
gorgeous. Oh my
Yes, oh my god, it was
god.
amazing. Yeah, and it was beautiful, but something else that I saw hold on. Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
I said that already. Pretty much like oh, that's no, this is what I wanted to say. So, with how much bright direct light that Hawaii plants get, I was shocked at how bright the foliage is.
Yeah.
Like, a bit I just oh my god, like, so the first okay, I'll get into nurseries now, and this brightness comes into play. So, I went to a few nurseries with Raylan. She picked me up on a Friday, we got some coffee, and then
Nice.
she drove me it was so cool because the touristy part is, like, on the edge of the island in Waikiki, and she drove me through, like, the middle of the island through the mountains, and it was raining, it was
Wow.
beautiful.
Oh my
Oh, it was
god.
so gorgeous, and then on the other side of that mountain is where a lot of nurseries are. So
Dang.
this is where I was shocked at how like bright green everything is. So the first place we went to was so the nursery area that I'm talking about on the other side of the mountain was let's see if I pronounce this right. Waimanalo. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's like not far from North Shore if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just a very beautiful area. Tons of farms and nurseries are in that area. And the first place
How
we went
cool.
to yeah, the first place we went to is called Glenn's Flowers and Plants. And here this is where I sent you the epiphyte. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that
Yes.
was like flowering. That's where they had it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So the woman working, she's the co-owner, I think. I don't think she gave me her name, but she was lovely. She
Aw.
had, oh, okay. Sorry, I got excited. I forgot to tell you guys, quick shout out. Bromeliads were a huge landscaping. That was what was most surprising to me, to answer your question.
Yeah.
Seeing
That
bromeliads as landscaping. They were everywhere and they were huge.
they get monstrous size.
Honestly, like low key, probably bigger than what we saw at Rainforest Flora.
I bet. That is
Like
so
the
cool.
size of the table I'm sitting at.
Damn, really?
Yeah. Sorry, guys. My eyes drifted up and I realized I forgot that note. But yeah, that to answer your question, that's what I was most shocked to see in the ground, just outside of people's homes and stuff. It was amazing. And like
Dang.
bright purple, bright red.
They're
My mind was
beautiful
blown.
plants.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah. I,
'cause, like, I
I was
know the basic
obsessed.
ones yeah, the basic ones that you see in grocery stores do not do it any justice at all because there are so many, like, more interesting varieties. So that is really,
Totally.
really cool.
If I had the balls, I would have loved to bring one back, but I think it would have been kind of difficult. But
A little
it,
pokey too.
that's the thing. It's hardy. It probably would have made the trip, but it was so
Yeah.
beautiful though. Oh my god. But back to business, guys.
Okay.
Sorry. So
All good.
At Glenn's Flowers and Plants, they had gorgeous epiphytes, ferns. Oh my god, the ferns. Calathea, Scindapsus, Plumeria, of course. And they also they had yeah, tons of plumeria. They had a palm tree that had glasses on the trunk, which was really funny. So that was just
Oh,
it like grew. It was like a fuzzy palm base, which was really
really?
cool. I'd have to show you a picture because I don't know exactly what it was
Okay.
called. But someone put little glasses on it and it grew over it. It was really
That is
funny. But that
cute.
yeah, that was really cute. But this is where my mind was blown because they had so many fern varieties and they were so bright. Like,
Really? Were they
I was
variegated?
no! I don't think they
Wow.
were. I think they were just, like, green, but, like, here, they would probably been,
Nice.
like, 3 shades darker. They just got
'Cause they
such
get
good
more
light.
light. Mhm.
Yes, such good light, and because they're in, like, a greenhouse setting, there is that filtered, like, sheet, you know?
Yep.
So beautiful, and but the thing that stole my heart at this nursery that it broke me that I couldn't bring it back. I'm,
Mm.
like, thinking back, and I wish I tried, but I think it was just too mature. It was so
Yeah.
big. I discovered what a cobra fern was.
Cobra Fern. What?
Have you seen this, Holly?
I don't know. Let me see.
I think this might go on your planty wish list. That's all I'm
Mm.
saying. Let me find it really quick. It's I don't
Yes, I bet
know.
I will.
Oh my gosh, here it is. So you guys, for those of you listening, a planty or not planty fern, a cobra fern is it's a fern, much like many other, but it's thicker leaves, kind of gave me succulent vibes a little bit with very severe ridges, like very bumpy. And
Dang.
it's like black, like a dark core, like a dark middle, and it was just gorgeous, Holly. Like
Oh, wow.
here we go. Do you see it? Look
Ooh.
at that.
That is, like, so extra in the best way possible.
Oh my god, it is. I think
You
I took a
know?
picture. You know what? Raylan might have sent it to me. Here it is. I took a picture holding it because I was so happy. So you can see like a side view of what it looks like as well. Hold on. There you
That
go.
was pretty big.
Oh my god, it's huge. And it was like not even $20, of course.
What?
I think it was like 14
Oh, that
maybe. It was amazing.
I wonder if those are even in California at all, because 'cause I've, like, literally never seen that.
I never heard of one even. Like I saw a
Yeah.
bird's
Did it have
nest.
a
I saw
botanical name?
let me see if I took a picture with its tag. I am
Okay.
not sure, Holly. Let me
If
see.
not, it's okay. I'm sure we can, like, look up Cobra Fern and, figure it out, but
Y
that is really cool. It
yeah,
looks
let's
gorgeous.
look it up because 'cause I'm not sure. This was another one. I think it was labeled as bird's nest, but it looked different than the one you and I had, but look how bright
Yeah.
green it was.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
like that too.
all at Glenn's and just so beautiful. Oh, this is the here we go. If anybody watching this knows what this is called, this is the type of palm in his crazy nursery pot, and he had glasses on.
So cute.
Yeah. So that was Glenn's nursery. I wanted to buy the epiphyte, but I was like, "You know what? This is our first
Oh,
stop."
epiphyllum.
Epiphyllum. It's epiphytic. I don't know what the words are. I'm guessing. But yeah, the
Yeah,
cute
it's
guy
close.
that had the little pink flower things on it. It looked like
Yes.
fruit.
Oh, that
Yes, it
was
was
the curly Q one. Yes, that was so
yeah,
cute.
the one I texted you because I was like, "Holly will be into this."
Yes. Yes, you know
Yes.
me.
Yeah, so that was our first stop, and this is all, like, in one neighborhood, all of these nurseries. The next one is I believe it's called Yamashito. Let me just make sure.
Yamashito?
I keep running around my
Oh,
photos, and I keep
Yamashita.
losing Yamashita, there it is. I don't know for sure, this might just be gossip, but I got the feeling that maybe it was partnered with Glenn's. I had a feeling, but I'm not sure
Interesting,
'cause
okay.
it's, like, the next lot over, but that one was way more landscape based. So anyone living in Oahu, it seemed like a great place to get huge monstera for landscaping, so mature,
Mm.
tons of plumeria. Obviously, plumeria is gonna be one of the top things you see in Hawaii just because it's one of their native plants.
And it's so
So
beautiful.
cool. Yeah, oh my god, it was amazing. But there, I think that was mainly it. That I just saw so many monstera. We didn't spend a lot of time there because we realized there wasn't really any houseplants or succulents. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Nah, let's keep going."
Speaking of, like, how plumerias are so popular, I remember on Maui, in so many of the gift shops or even, like, gas stations, they sold plumeria stumps, so no leaves, no roots, but in, like,
Yeah.
a bag, and it's just like, "Take home a Hawaiian plant, grow it at home." I was like, "Oh, that is really cool," and I'm so bummed I didn't do it because 'cause I've always said I'm gonna add a plumeria just, like, to my collection, but for outdoors, so
Yeah.
pro tip if anyone
Oh,
wants one.
I should have grabbed one. I forgot about it. I was like, "You know what? Whatever. I don't need one."
Did you see
But
them though?
at the airport, they were selling plumeria
So
stumps, but they
funny.
were overpriced. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, "Damn,"
Yeah.
just like airport prices. But yeah, they were ready to go. They said Department of Ag approved. I was like, "Wow, that's so
Hell yeah.
cool." The
That's really
plumerias, like
cool.
the colors that they come in, like,
Dude, have you seen the
oh,
variegated ones on IG?
what? The leaves are variegated?
Yeah. I think it's like kind of like a rarity, like, actually botanical, kinda, like, rare, but
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody can try and cultivate something that would have stable variegation because that would be so gorgeous.
Oh my god, with especially when it flowers?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Stunning.
Oh,
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
beautiful. No, oh my god, you're totally fine. So, this next nursery was my favorite, I would say. I had 2 favorites, and it's the 2 where I bought something at, which is really cool. So, this next one is called Happy Plants Nursery. It's owned and operated by Lena McCormick. She's wonderful. She was talking to us, and she said, like we were like, "How long have you been doing this?" I'm pretty sure I heard 70 years. Maybe it was
Jesus.
50, but, like, she's definitely older, but yeah, she was so fit, so, like, in her element. She was just an
That's amazing.
angel. She's the one that sold me the Stefania Erecta, and
Nice.
it's cool because you drive onto her land, and it's, like, her little, like, farmhouse, and then a corner of just overgrown trees. You look at it, and if you look closely, it's her little nursery. Like, there's just plants everywhere, and
That is
she
so
has
cool.
yeah, she has chickens, dogs, cats. It's
Chickens and cats and
yeah, oh my.
dogs. That is so oh my god, that's I hope that's where I am at in 70 years. That sounds too true.
Me in Hawaii.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I could see you in Hawaii, Holly.
Really?
I could.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're a big city gal, but I could
Yeah.
see you in Hawaii for sure. But,
That's where
at
I'll
this
settle down.
right? No, get your second home in Hawaii. There you
Yeah.
go. So, she had such a cool stuff. She had, let me make sure I tell you the right stuff. This is where I found the Stefania Erecta. She had a variegated elephant ear, multiple to sell.
How were
Oh
they
my god.
expensive?
So she didn't have all her prices labeled, like, you'd have to ask her,
Okay.
but, I mean, she had a huge whale fin that I wanted, and I think that was, like, 65, so I imagine her elephant ear was probably up there just because like, they were not mature, but they were probably in, like, 6 or 8-inch pots, so I
Yeah.
can imagine at least 40 to 50 plus, if not more.
I was just interested because I've noticed those prices have recently been super high, and they used to
Oh,
just be sold at Home Depots, so, like, those specifically the variegated ones.
no way.
Mhm. I know,
Wow.
and now
Oh,
they're, like, so
would you
expensive.
get one? 'Cause I wasn't it you that told me elephant ears attract spider mites?
They do, but, like, I think when you grow them indoors but I think I would try to find a shady spot outdoors here in Florida because they do so well here, like, I do have a few, like, in shade on, our in our yard, so I
Oh,
think that would just
yeah.
be such a cool addition.
Oh, that'd be amazing. The variegated ones are so beautiful.
Yeah, they're
I
like the Monstera basically, like an elbow, but
yeah, it's an elephant ear elbow pretty
Yes,
much.
yes.
Yeah. So she had elephant ear. She had the Hoya that was wrapping around bars and stuff and growing crazy huge. She also had tons of hibiscus. So it was really sweet. Lena was such a like lovely person to speak to, so nice. Because Raylan, I told her that I was from the States and everything, and because Raylan brought me and shared her nursery with me, she gave her a free hibiscus plant that was flowering with a yellow flower. It was
Oh, that is
yeah,
so kind.
it was really nice. I loved that. And then she also had obviously Plumeria, of course, Monstera, the whole thing. But then I round a corner and there's a table with tons of little boobies, like little brown boobs. And I'm like, "What are these?" And then it hits me. I'm like, "Oh my god." I go into my Instagram because shout out Jose Francisco, our plant
Woo!
papi from way back when.
Yep, yep.
He's into potato plants. We've been talking about this. He has a few different varieties, and he and I had been talking about it within, like, the last 3 weeks, and he sent me photos of every one that he had because I was fascinated because if I'm not mistaken, you didn't have any, so I wasn't really exposed to this sort of, is genus the right word? Like
I think so.
this
Yeah.
group of plants?
Family.
Yeah, this family of plants I didn't know, and I was, like, so fascinated at how they look when they're mature, and I was just like, "What in the world is this?" Like, it reminded me of, like, isn't it like a type of palm that you see that has the little hump out of the
Yeah.
soil and then it
So
yeah.
yes, it's interesting because basically they go dormant, so they'll lose all their leaves every season, but
Yeah.
yes, when they almost sort of resemble a more rounded, I don't know if I wanna say ponytail palm, but kind of. I mean, obviously, it's a
Pony
potato,
palm, that's what I'm
but
thinking of. Yeah, isn't it caladiums that also lose all their leaves every year and then
yeah, they typically go dormant, which I'm usually not a huge fan of. I think that's why I stayed away from the caudex plants, but there are
yeah.
definitely a few that I'm like, "Oof, I would so." But I think if you can keep their environment steady, they might keep their leaves year round, who knows?
That's what I'm hoping because, like, that's why I don't have caladiums either. I think they're gorgeous, but I don't like that you have to start from 0 every year.
No.
But this little guy just blew my mind, you know? I just thought there was something so cool about the caudex family, and I go to this table and I see a whole table of them, and a few of them have little leaves on them, and I'm like, "What is this?" And so I take a picture, I send it to him, and I put it on my story, and I tagged him. I was like, "Guess who's gonna buy one?" Because I asked her, I was like, "Is this Stefania Erecta?" And she's like, "Yes, it is." I think she was surprised that I knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I told her that this was a goal plant of mine, like, I wanted one. And so she sold me this little guy for 30, if I'm not
Nice.
mistaken, and he told me, because I talked to him 2 weeks ago, and he was like, I think he said if you found one between 30 and $40, that's a good deal.
Nice.
I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna do this," because even though I have spoken to the Department of Agriculture in Hawaii and everything, California, whatever, I was getting nervous because on a few plant groups that I'm in, even though it says ship bare root, which means you can use spag moss, but you just can't have soil, at the airport, some people were making planty people that were brick collectors that were bringing back plants to chop off the roots, even the
Yeah.
roots. And I was like, they were
Wow.
like, that's not on their website. Their website says you can have roots, it just you can't have soil. But what are you gonna do? Like, if a person in charge is like, "No, take off the roots." Like,
Dang.
what are you gonna do? And this little guy doesn't have any roots because that's how
Ah,
he rolls.
that's perfect.
So I grabbed him, so happy, and Lena was just really cool. The last thing I wanna say about her nursery is that she has this crazy album monstera that's climbing up a
Mm.
tree, and she told
Seriously.
me she's, like, someone that's not on Instagram or anything, but she was like, I think she said, like, her nephew or her son was telling her that her albo was becoming Insta famous in Hawaii
Oh my
because she
god.
had it, like, in the front, but then she moved it to the back where she could watch it better, and she was propagating pieces of it to give to friends. The chunks were so thick, like, huge.
Jeez.
Like, this plant, I asked her if it was, like, over 7 to 10 years old. Like, it was crazy big. Oh my god, I
Dang.
was
Did it have
shocked.
pretty
So
stable irrigation?
super, yeah, it was so stable, and, like, she was pretty much doing perlite, like what we do in, like, these
Nice.
big, like, plastic jugs or whatever. It was really cool. I think she was doing perlite, if I'm not mistaken. She was
Nice.
also doing perlite for the Stefania Erecta, but, um, Jose Francisco was telling me that I should use bonsai, mix
Oh, nice.
from Jack's Plants or something like that was the name. I'll have to
Yeah.
send you the name later, but I really like it. It's a really good chunky mix. It's, like,
Awesome.
barely soil. It's mainly rocks, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's very good for aeration and stuff, so I'm pretty excited. But that was my first success at a nursery. It was
That's
so cool.
amazing.
There's no Instagram or anything, but she's just really cool. We did honorable mention. I wanna mention Koba's nursery down the street. This place is huge, Holly.
Is it? Oh,
Oh my god. They
Boba with a K.
have it's Kobo with a K. They have go-karts, not go-karts, golf
What?
carts.
Oh, golf
Yeah.
carts. That's so cool.
You show up, there's cats running around and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, take a golf cart." They don't ask you if you know how to drive it. They just let you take
Dude,
it, and
I
you
saw
get
you
to
guys on your stories, like, riding around. I'm like, "What are you
Yes!
doing?" doing? That's
Yeah,
awesome.
you can just golf cart around the nursery. If you see something you like, you throw it in the golf cart, and then you go pay at, like, the little,
That
like,
is so
front.
smart. That's so
It was
smart.
it was amazing. I mean, I
Yes.
guess I understand why, like, in LA, that's probably not doable unless you have a lot of land,
Yeah.
but probably in Florida, that's an option depending on the nursery. It was so smart. I'd never seen a nursery do that before, and we didn't find anything that day, but it was just so cool to, like, drive around. It felt like I was on, like, a ride at Disneyland. It was really cool.
I
So that was
bet.
yeah, it was really fun. That's definitely an honorable mention, and then the second to last this is the last nursery we went to, and then my next mention, which will be the last one, is a plant shop, like a kinda like a
Nice.
folia collective.
Okay.
So, this last one is called Once Again Hawaii. This was my other favorite stop. Like, these 2 I would go back to if I visit Oahu again.
Oh, hell yeah.
So, once again was the spot for drought tolerant plants. So, they mainly had succulents and cacti, and they had some Hoya as well. So,
Nice.
they had euphorbia ghosts up the wazoo, huge ones.
What?
Yeah, amazing, and it was really cool because, cacti I feel like is more our area, it's more California,
For
Arizona. It was
sure.
cool seeing a shop, like, dedicated to cactus. It
That's
was
awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool, and one of the owners, her name is Lynn, and she was really nice and super informative. I didn't buy a plant there, but I bought a little pot that she made for me on the fly, and
What?
I say the word pot in quotes because we were talking. So long story short, I sent you that picture of that macrophylla. I say macrophylla.
Yeah.
Is it macrophylla? I don't know.
Macrophylla. Yeah.
Macrophylla. Holly, I still think about it, like, it hurts that I couldn't
'Cause
buy
it wasn't
it.
for sale, right?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it wasn't a not for sale section.
Mm.
So, she had, like, Dischidia, Hoya, succulents, and cacti in one section, and then there was another section that was, like, just open. We started to walk into it, and then I think we saw a sign that said NFS, and so I
Yeah.
asked, I was like, "Are we still allowed to look in there just for fun?" And they're like, "Sure." And then immediately I saw it, and you guys,
Mm.
Macrophylla has always been a Hoya that I'm like, "It's cool." Like, if I get a chance and the price is right, I think I would, but usually it's
Yeah.
just green and yellow, right? Green with a yellow border.
Mhm.
Holly, I
You have no
oh my
words.
you saw it, it was pink.
Well, okay,
It
so
was
it was the non-variegated, right?
I don't
Or was
know.
it
Tell me, I'm not
okay, so to
sure.
me, it looked like the non-variegated kind, which I think they're just calling Macrophylla, yeah, just Hoya macrophylla, and for whatever reason, those are now so much more popular than the variegated kind. So I have the variegated
Why?
or the algo marginata with the outer, margins,
That's the one I
um,
always see on Marketplace.
and then, of course, you have the pot of gold, which is the Macrophylla pot of gold, which has the middle variegation, but the non-variegated all green has become so popular. I mean, for good reason. It's stunning, and it just I think it also has a little bit more noticeable veins too. But yours that you found was, like, super
I'm trying to find
sun-stressed, and
here
it
it is.
was pink. I
Oh,
didn't even
it
know
you
they
know what it
got sun.
so, if this is the non-variegated, like you say, in that case, it reminds me of your is it a no, it's not your Carnosa. Which is the one that yours is super sunstressed that everybody loves, that was outside of your door?
Oh, Obscura. Hoya Obscura.
Obscura. You know how it's, like, almost pink purple?
Yeah.
That's what this one was.
I know. See, and I think that's the non-variegated.
That makes sense. It blew my mind, Holly.
Yeah.
And so I took a picture of it, and I walk up to Lynn, and I'm like, "Hi, Lynn. So this was in the not for sale section, but do you have any that are for sale?" And she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's the only one. It's not for sale. It's a very expensive plant." And then she started going on about it, and I was like,
Oh, boy.
I'll buy it now."
What was she saying about it? I'm just curious.
All she said was, like, it was probably, like, in the $65 range, but, like, it wasn't
Oh,
for
yeah.
sale. But I don't know if it wasn't I thought that was a little expensive too. I thought, like, 40 to 50 maybe, but,
Yeah, I mean, it's like right now on Etsy, it's like over $100, which is a little crazy, I must say, but, what are you gonna
for
do?
non-variegated?
Yeah.
So her price was good.
Yes.
Mm.
It's okay, don't
So,
worry, don't worry.
the thing is, though, it's like, is it not for sale because someone sold it or because you want it? Like, I need to know the difference.
You're like, "Can I just have a cutting? It's better for the
Please.
airport anyway."
Yes, but, oh, my heart, it was like
I know.
I've literally not stopped thinking about it, and I told Josh about it, and he's like, "You just gotta find one here." And I'm like, "You're right." I
Fifty, $100.
Yeah, it's crazy. That makes a lot of sense because the variegated ones I'm seeing between 35 and 50 on Facebook Marketplace, but
Right?
I don't see any of the non-variegated ones. I didn't even know there was a non-variegated one. I thought that was it. I thought it was just green with a yellow border. That's what I thought it was.
And I think that there are other names for it, but that's how I know it, so
Mhm.
if there's a name for it, just message us or whatever, but
Yeah.
yeah. Or I think sometimes it's
But
called latifolia, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to do some research on it because my heart was swooned. Like, I need to tell you, it was
It spoke to you.
amazing. Yes. But that happened, it passed, I asked her about it, and then I looked to my left in, like, her little workstation, and she has a few cute little, like, themed pots hanging, like, tiny pots. And one of
Nice.
them, she has a little cactus growing out of it, and it's a seashell. And I tell
Aw,
her, I was like, "That's really cute." And she's like, "Oh, you like it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's beautiful." And she's like, "Well, if you want one, I could make one for you. I have extra seashells." I was like
what?
I was like, "Yes." Like, "How much?" She's like, $5. And for
Hell yeah.
5 for fi it so this shell, I need to disclose to you guys, is from the Philippines. It's not native to Hawaii, but it's this beautiful, for those watching, this beautiful shell, kinda brownish with some ombre,
Beautiful.
and then look how evenly switched right here is, the
Oh, and
bottom
the
of
perfect
it, and
little
then
drainage hole.
yes, she made those holes in front of me, Holly. She used
Wow.
she used a Ryobi drill, like an automatic drill. It had a whole table.
Yeah,
She just had to hold the shell. She didn't have to hold the blade the actual
yeah.
drill or anything, and it automatically squirts water as it's drilling. It's really cool.
That's so
It's like a diamond drill
cool.
bit. It was
Yeah.
amazing. So she made 2 holes at the top as well, and then she put a copper cord, like, wire for me. So I put a
Nice.
little baby plant in there. So that
That is
was really
so
cool.
cute.
I was glad I was able to buy something from her because a lot of her plants I had, like her small plants, like succulents and things. So I wanted to get something because my goal of what I wanted to buy from her is something that Raylin had bought from her, and then she didn't have it in
Ooh.
stock. I wanted a native succulent that's like in Hawaii only. It's
Yes,
called
I've
yes, here we go. Oh no, here we not go. 1 second, guys. Yes,
it's
it's
called
called
like a go for it.
the port the port oh, you're okay. The Portulaca molochinensis, AKA the ihi, so that's the easier name,
That's so
and
pretty.
it is a cute little succulent, Holly.
I've
It
seen them, they're
They
gorgeous.
remind me of, like, string of buttons or nickels, but kinda rounded and they grow up.
They also kinda remind me of like an aeonium.
Yes, they
Like a
do,
little different little flair to it.
like an aeonium tail, kind
Yeah.
of. The thing is, we went to one nursery. I didn't get to give them a shout out, but I don't remember their name and it was very quick. But
Yeah.
mainly landscaping, but they had a small table and they had them, but they were very like there were a lot of holes in them, like bugs had gotten to them. And I was like, I don't
Yeah.
wanna bring one that's, like, that ugly. No, look, like, sorry, I just don't. And then but Raylan was like, "No worries," like, once again, has them, that's where I got them, and she just happened to be out, and she's like, "I'm restocking next month." And I was like, "I won't be here." But that's my goal for
Mm.
next time because it was just such a cute little succulent, but we'll see. That's another trip for another day. But then
Yes.
I know I gotta wrap things up. I'm gonna try to be quick. The last stop we made, honorable mention as well, is called Mari's Urban Garden, and that was a plant shop in the downtown area of Honolulu, and they had stuff that you would see at, like, Folia Collective, Serracata. So if you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of the more cutesy kind of Instagram-like shops, you know?
Very curated.
They're actually what gave me the inspo for the pot that I'm gonna show you with the Stefania Erecta in it. Like, no shade to Mari's garden or Mari's, urban garden, but I found pretty much the same pot online. So I was like, "You know what? Just because I don't wanna
Yeah,
travel with a heavy pot, I'm just gonna order
for
it to my
sure.
house." But they were so cute. They had a lot of varieties of calathea, Oh, that was another
Nice.
thing, once again, with Lynn, she had huge orbifolia as well, so that was a great place to get
Oh,
orbifolia.
lovely. Nice.
Yeah, but at Mari's, she had let me find it. She had more carnivorous plants that I wasn't really seeing at other places.
Oh,
They
cool.
once again did have the big one, I forgot its name, but I want it. It has, like, the little red jugs that fill with water, and they, like, eat things. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yes.
about?
Nepenthes something, yeah.
Yes, I want one. I almost bought one, but I was like, "I've seen them in the US. I probably should
In the US,
not."
in the mainland.
In the mainland. It doesn't feel like you're in the same country,
I
Holly,
know.
let's be real. But yes, on the mainland, that's like 7 hours away. But yes, um, I've seen them here, so I was like, "You know what? It's okay, like, I'll hold off." But
Yeah.
I'd never seen this caudex in LA, like, I'd never looked for one either, so I was like, "I think this was a good find." But they were just a really fun place to see more, like, cutesy curated plants and curated pots and, like, plant books and plant, apparel and things. They were selling a
Oh,
huge peperomia
fun.
not peperomia, they were selling a huge pink princess, which was cool because like,
Ooh,
none of these other nurseries were selling rare things like that, so that was
got
really
it.
cool. So
Nice.
that was my summary on the shops I went to. It was beautiful and,
That is so
Holly,
cool. I feel like I'm living through you.
I'm
Also
glad.
yes, I really wanna know about, like, just, like, maybe, like, quick little tips on if you wanna fly back to the mainland
The
with some
mainland.
plants with some plants, like, because you talked to the agriculture department, and so I would have
Yes.
been so scared, like, on the phone, like, "Yes, hi, I like plants." I'm
"Can I
not as
take
brave
one,
as
please?"
you, so
Well, if this is
so
any
let us know.
encouragement if this is any encouragement to those of you that call the Department of Ag, I didn't give them my info. So, like, we hung up and it's like they had no record of me. So, if that is
Yeah,
worrying anyone, you can just call as, like, someone that has a question. You don't have to give them all your info. So, that's really
there you
cool.
go.
Um, yeah, I was just kinda like, how do I do this?" And they answered very quickly. So if you call the Hawaiian department, it's usually a pretty fast turnaround. They were kind of just like, whatever. They probably get this question a lot, but what they did was, which you guys can look up on their website. Let me see if I listed it. Here we go. So if you go on the Department of Agriculture Hawaii's website, they have a list of certified nurseries, and that means that these nurseries have been certified with the state to be approved for travel pretty much. So if I were to go, I didn't
Nice.
go to any certified nurseries that I know of. Once again, used to be certified, but she explained to us that she's no longer certified because you had to send them certain things monthly to show that like
Oh,
inventory
dang.
numbers, all these they really wanted very detailed information from the nurseries, and that I can imagine is kind of difficult to keep up with.
For sure.
So yeah, so they didn't she didn't do that anymore, and a lot of places weren't. So, like, the places that I went to with Raylan were not certified, but if you're nervous and you wanna just, like, make it as easy as possible, go to a certified plant shop on the in the state, and they have a list for every single island on their website. And if you go there and let's say you buy, like, I don't know, a peperomia, they will package it for you and they will put a approved Department of Agriculture sticker on it. And
Wow.
I guess they can either send it to you or you can take it like that in the box on the plane, and if anyone has questions you can show that it's already approved. So that's the easy way to do it.
That is so
um
cool.
yeah, you're just limited to where you can go shopping. That's my problem with it, but it's like it just depends, you know? The other thing you can do, so I didn't do this, I was supposed to, I guess. There's, like, a plant inspector at the airport, if I'm not mistaken, and they will review any of your plant purchases, check for pests or any invasive species, make sure you're not bringing back soil, the whole shebang, and then they'll approve it for you. I never found the desk, I looked, and, like, I probably where I went wrong is I probably should have called and was like, "Hey, what are your hours? Where are you located?" I kinda just showed up at the airport and was like, "We'll see." So,
Yeah,
I kinda
'cause you
just
made it
gotta
through security, so it's like, "Okay, guess I'm good."
yeah, you kinda just gotta, like I say plan ahead if you wanna make sure you get approved. I wasn't terribly worried because if anyone stopped me, I didn't even have roots on my plant. So, like, for them to
Yeah,
cause a fit would have been very extreme, in my opinion, and unnecessary. But any if I brought
got
any
it.
plants back that had roots, I would have been more nervous to not go to the plant inspector. But just keep that in mind. If you don't find the inspector, just make sure you're really following the rules on their website, which is what I did, just in case
That's
anyone at
good.
TSA gives you a hard time. But TSA, they're not plant experts. So if you
Yeah.
pack it in the right way, like you should be fine. But it's important to talk to the department if you can, just to be on the safe side. But shout out to Lynn once again. She, as she said, she used to be certified, and she told me, she's like, when you go, tell them that you're using a potting medium, because
Mm,
soil is a trigger word for them.
that's
So,
smart.
and she said it can cause issues with getting approval, because she looked at me. She was like, see that on the ground? And I was like, yes. She's like, that's soil. That's the earth.
Yeah.
That they're not okay with. Anything in any of the pots you buy from me is a potting medium. It's peat moss, sphagnum moss, this, that. She never used the word soil. So it's like a mix. So anytime
There
you
you
guys
go.
travel to Hawaii, make sure you say that you're using potting medium. You're not using soil. But truly don't have soil. Like you're not supposed to. But like
Yeah,
I
that
brought a
makes
whole
sense.
bag of yeah, I brought a whole bag of sphagnum moss. I didn't end up needing it because of the potato, the patat, as I like to call him. HT at the end, but that's what she recommended. So
That's
that's
so
what I would
cool.
recommend. You can also,
Dude, 'cause, like, I oh, sorry.
no, go ahead, you're okay.
Um, I wish I knew all about this when we went to Maui, and at their grocery store, there was Anthurium clarinerviums, and I
Oh,
wanted it so bad. It was only, like, $30, and I'm like, "Well, I
wow.
don't think it's allowed," and I'm like, "Oh, I should've just tried," you know?
Oh, I wish we knew each other then.
I
It was
know,
just before
dude.
we met,
Yeah, so
because
crazy.
that was my goal. My goal was to come back with an Anthurium, but there was
Ugh.
nothing, Holly. I didn't find anything except for aren't they an Anthurium, the one that flowers, the big red plasticky looking flowers?
Mhm,
Those were
yeah.
everywhere. You could get
I
those
know, those are so common.
anywhere.
I mean, they're gorgeous, but it's like, and I think too because plants are
Clarinervium.
just yeah, they're just so plants are so popular right now, I feel like everyone kinda knows, so it's just, like, gonna be a little bit tougher to find those, like, secret gems, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I went to a supermarket, no luck. It was
Damn,
mainly bromeliads and things and like that specific Anthurium and stuff.
damn.
But, something else Lynn recommended, go to the local USPS at the island, and it's very easy to ship 1 or 2 things that way as well. So
Nice.
that's a pro tip if you're willing to have it in the mail and just see what happens. That's one thing. But in terms of packing it, this is what I did.
Nice.
And something I just wanted to shout out, if you have small cuttings or a patat like I did, cut a straight cylindrical water bottle like Smart Water is very cylindrical, there's no bumpies on it.
Yes.
That's what
Uh-huh.
I used, but there's a ton of different kinds of, bottles you can use. I had never seen anyone do this. I don't know if you had, maybe in trades, but I've never seen this. Cut it in half, and then I put little paper towels at the bottom. If you have anything fluffy, put that at the bottom. I stuck my potato in. He fit like a glove. So if you get a huge potato, it might not fit, but this one
Right.
fit perfectly. Lena had also given me this like foam to put around the potato. So
Oh, nice.
I kept that on it, stuck it in the water bottle, and then you cut a slit on one end of the water bottle, like 2 slits. That way you can bend it into the cup you've created so that it
Nice.
slides in, and then keep the cap so that you can have it capped up on the plane, and when you're not on the plane, you can bring in oxygen.
There
So I
you
had it open as much
go.
as possible and not so much as like a crack or a leaf break or anything while traveling, and it was nice because for TSA, it just looked like a water bottle in my bag that was empty.
Nice. That is
They
so
didn't
cool,
question it.
dude. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
the very last thing I did out of paranoia, I brought my laptop, and you're supposed to take out your laptop for TSA and put it in its own thing, but a lot of them were saying, like, "Just leave it in your bag, it's fine," but it still triggers if it's in your bag. So what I did,
Yeah.
I put it out of my bag anyway, I just acted like I didn't hear them. I put it out of my bag, and then I put the water bottle inside the bag, and so if they saw a trigger, they're like, "Oh, it's the laptop that's not in the bag." They didn't check my bag at all.
Wow,
So
that's
it
awesome.
was really good. I got very lucky.
Yay.
And
Yeah.
to to conclude, Holly, I know you might have some questions that I wanted to show you, my Stefania, and the
Please
pot it's
show us.
in. Okay, hold on. Ooh, 1 sec. Okay. I need 2 hands. So this is it. Check it out.
Ah,
My little
he has a little baby
baby.
leaf.
I bought
Dude,
it
that's
like that.
gorgeous.
She had a
Oh.
taller one. She had one that had a bigger leaf and it was taller, but I was afraid of it breaking on the
Yeah,
flight.
that makes
So I got a
sense.
smaller one. This is the pot that I got on Amazon. If anybody's interested, DM me and I'll send you the link. It came with a big, like 6-inch pot, 5.5, 6, and it came with this little shallow guy, which is great for succulent arrangements or anything like that. And I think I paid 22 for both. And
I
it
have
has
the same
texture on it.
one, the same scale.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so nice. I have a succulent in my smaller one too.
Oh, that's
The little
awesome.
yeah.
I love so you have the white one, right?
Mhm.
Isn't it matte and then the bottom is glossy or something like
Um,
that? Or is it all one?
well, I think it's all matte, and then, like,
Okay.
the little droplets that are on the outside is, like, glossy, if that makes
Oh, that's
sense.
right, because you have droplets. So if you ever buy one of these without the droplet texture, it's matte, and then the base of it that also has the tray is glossy, which is really pretty
Oh,
too.
so pretty.
Yeah, so I got this little guy in
Nice.
there, and I'm just really happy, Holly. It was a really good trip.
Oh, I'm
Oh my
so
gosh,
glad.
I forgot. I wanted to share a fun fact with you.
Share.
Okay, so Lena, as well as a few other shops, they were selling Spanish moss, but it's called Pele's hair in Hawaii.
Aw.
So, do you know who Pele is?
No.
It's the goddess of volcanoes and fire and the creator of the Hawaiian Islands, according
Oh,
to their history. And she's also known as she who shapes the sacred land, known to be in ancient Hawaiian chants.
that is so cool.
Raylan, if you're listening, fact check me. I might be wrong. She gave me a ton of history on Hawaii, but the active volcano on the main island of Hawaii, I think is meant to be like her resting place or like where she is or something. But maybe I
Wow,
might
that's
be
so
making that up.
beautiful.
Blame Moana or something if I'm making that up. I don't know. But yeah, but I thought that was really cool. So nobody says Spanish moss there. I was like, "Oh my god, your Spanish moss is beautiful." And they're like, "Oh yeah, that's our Pele's hair." And I was like, "Oh." So
Wow.
that's just like fun. I was
Really
like, "That's so cute. I like
cool.
that."
That's so beautiful. Oh my
Yeah, I thought
god.
that was really awesome. So I was like a little fun fact I wanted to bring back to you.
That's so cool.
Did you
Aw.
have any other questions, Holly?
Not really. I was gonna, like, touch on, like, how you were saying that the climate there is, like, so perfect because
Mhm.
do you think that is why things grow there so well? I mean, of course, there is some humidity, but, like, let's just say in Florida, for example, it's so incredibly humid, but it also is hot, and it's a little bit
Mm.
more extreme. So I'm wondering
Yeah.
if, there is a decent amount of humidity in Hawaii, but you're not, like, drenched, like, hot. So do you think with, like, the sun and just the consistent mild climate, I wonder if that's why everything grows so well?
I think you're right. I think that is why, because it's definitely humid. Like my hair was definitely fluffy while I was
Yeah.
there, but it seems to rain so much too. So I think things even out quite a bit.
That makes sense.
Um, I do wonder though, I imagine it'd be culture shock for a plant parent in Hawaii coming to the mainland because like even in LA, I deal with it getting cold.
Totally.
And that's an adjustment. I don't know if they deal with the cold there. I imagine they don't, not really. I don't think anyone has to bring their plants in or anything.
Well, I
So
was there in December and it was hot, and we
mhm.
were swimming at the beach, so, yeah.
Yeah, when I was 10, I went in and in December as well, same thing. So I imagine their plants don't really go dormant as much. Like, why would they?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah,
I'd be
that's
very
true.
anyone who has grown plants in Hawaii, let us know because 'cause I'd be very curious to see, like, do your plants go dormant or is it a shorter dormant period? Like, what's that like? And I just
Growing
wonder. I find
season
that really
versus yeah.
right. Do you disregard growing season? Does your fertilizing change? I'd be very curious to learn about that.
Me too.
So,
That's
yeah.
amazing, though. Oh my gosh,
It
thank
was
you for the recap. This was
Oh,
so
you're
good.
welcome. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I'm glad you enjoyed. I wanna go back with Josh and get another plant. So we'll see,
Yes.
guys. But to very quick wrap things up, I know I'm gonna mention this on the next episode, I'm sure, but I didn't find an anthurium in Hawaii, so to make myself feel better, I bought an anthurium regale here. So
Yes. You're like, "I have the money
oopsies.
burning in my pocket."
Maybe I'll show and tell next time. Holly, where
Please
can people
do.
find
That would be
you?
amazing. So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical _ shop at Shop Concrete Botanical and Concrete Botanical on TikTok, concretebotanical.com for my shop.
Yes. Then you guys can catch me at Sucka for Plantas on Instagram. You can also catch my other podcast, even though we're on a hiatus, at So I Got Fired on Instagram. And you can catch all things Boozy at Boozy Botanical Podcast. We drop episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube if you want to watch our pretty faces do the thing. And
Yes.
if you enjoy what you heard, please leave a 5-star rate and view on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us on the charts. We love
Done.
you. Maybe we'll do another giveaway soon. Who knows?
Wink.
So please do your part and we'll do our part, KK.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. And on that note,
Cheers.
cheers!